Having served in Congress for 5 years, what I learned from the inside is there are very powerful industries and their lobby, they're very powerful lobbyists, and the financial donations and structures that are built behind them is what entangles these politicians into supporting things that are unimaginable, things that Americans do not vote for.
So Tucker Carlson just revealed explosive testimony from former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene about how foreign lobbies control both parties through campaign donations. Greene served 5 years inside Congress and witnessed firsthand how politicians get corrupted. What she exposes about the Israel lobby and military contractors will shock you. Let's break this down.
Like you said, gender affirming care, transing children, requiring cars to have AI big tech technology in them where they won't start if the AI deems that you're not capable of driving. The list goes on and on. Voting for FISA 702 without warrants, warrantless spying on Americans, that's actually happening.
Notice how these policies seem random, but they're all connected through the same corrupt funding system. Car surveillance, child mutilation, warrantless spying. Industries profit from each of these. The mechanism she's about to explain shows exactly how foreign money drives American policy against our interests.
They're bought and paid for. They do not represent the American people or the American people's interest. And it's because they're funded that way. Take, for example, oh my gosh, this was shocking to me. Just last week, right? 57 Republicans voted no on an amendment to stop the government from controlling your car. Like that, what we're talking about, the AI capability. This was something that Biden and the Democrats, they passed a law.
57 Republicans voting for government car control is staggering. These aren't moderate Democrats. These are supposed conservatives betraying their own voters. This specific example perfectly illustrates her thesis about external control overriding constituent representation. The Brian Jack story coming up proves how quickly they get captured.
And the law is to require every new car starting in 2027 to have technology in there to be able to basically scan you and determine if you're drunk, if you're capable, if you're healthy and fit and capable of driving your automobile. And the car will not start if AI determines that you're not. Now, 57 Republicans voted no on an amendment to stop that from happening.
This car technology is pure surveillance state expansion. Your vehicle becomes a government monitoring device that can strand you anywhere based on AI algorithms. The fact that Republicans actively protected this shows how completely foreign interests have captured our supposed representatives.
But I was really surprised to see a name on the list, a recently elected Republican, Brian Jack from Georgia, who campaigned as being a conservative. I know his district really well. It was just to the south of my old district. These people don't support that, but yet his name was on there. And the question is, how did he fall into that trap? And why in the world would he vote no on an amendment to stop the government from basically controlling your vehicle? But they get pulled in, and it all happens through fundraising.
Brian Jack ran as America First, but immediately voted for government car control once elected. This isn't gradual corruption, it's instant betrayal the moment politicians enter the Washington fundraising machine. Greene's about to explain exactly how leadership ambitions become the trap.
Climbing the leadership ladder, wanting to basically be the chairman of the NRCC, wanting to be fully integrated and in charge of all fundraising for the House GOP. That's probably what pulled him in. Brian Jack, who I actually campaigned for, I endorsed him because I believed he would be America First. So I was really shocked to see his name on this list. Actually really disgusted with it. I'm very unhappy that his name is on this list. Makes me regret endorsing him.
Greene's personal betrayal here is crucial. She endorsed Jack believing he was genuine America First. Even experienced politicians get fooled by these candidates who campaign as patriots but immediately serve foreign interests once they taste Washington power and money.
In Washington, D.C., a member of Congress can fully fill their campaign coffers with just a few fundraisers in Washington, D.C., where you have the industry giants there, say whether it's the military industrial complex, the base there, those companies, whether it's pharmaceutical companies, big tech companies, you name it.
The contrast is stark. Grassroots politicians struggle for small donations while establishment candidates get millions from defense contractors and foreign lobbies. This funding disparity determines policy outcomes, whether America goes to war or protects its own interests first.
And they can make hundreds of thousands of dollars, up to $1 million like that on just a few of those fundraisers. And so these Republicans that are flying back and forth to Washington, D.C. every week, they're away from their family, they're away from their friends, they're away from the people that elected them, which makes them forget what's important. They get really lazy, and it gets easy to just have a couple of fundraisers where you're getting drunk on cocktails and eating little weenies on a stick or whatever they're serving up there in the Capitol Hill Club.
This physical separation from constituents is psychological warfare. Politicians get addicted to DC cocktail parties with lobbyists instead of town halls with voters. The Capitol Hill Club becomes more real to them than the communities they represent.
And they came into the House of Representatives already completely supported and propped up and funded by this nasty entanglement I'm talking about in Washington. And I watched it with my own eyes when I watched Mike Lawler get elected.
Key distinction. Some politicians get corrupted after election. Others are pre-selected and installed by the establishment. Green witnessed this firsthand with Mike Lawler. He came in already owned. Her eyewitness account of his funding is damning evidence of foreign selection.
He, as a Catholic, Mike Lawler is a Catholic, was heavily supported and funded by the Jewish community there, and was heavily being supported by all the Christian Zionists. And he instantly had more support from pretty much every fundraising mechanism that there is in Washington, D.C. that supports Republicans. He had more help than I could have ever dreamed of having ever in my entire political career. And I was like, wow, what is going on with this guy? And it turns out he did win his race.
Lawler received massive pre-election support from Jewish donors and Christian Zionists despite being Catholic. This shows how foreign lobbies select candidates across religious lines based purely on loyalty to Israel. Green never had access to these funding networks because she's genuinely America first.
He hated Donald Trump, made fun of him constantly, mimicked him, making fun of his voice. He used to attack me, make fun of me, come and find me on the House floor and make fun of me for supporting Donald Trump. And this was in the 4 years before Trump got elected as president again in 2024.
Lawler's anti-Trump history is crucial context. He mocked and attacked Trump for years, then instantly flipped when it became politically advantageous. This reveals the complete lack of genuine principles among establishment politicians. They follow power and money, not conviction.
All of a sudden, Mike Lawler, I started joking. I started calling him MAGA Mike Lawler, because he was all of a sudden like becoming Trump's biggest supporter. And he was all excited. He got a MAGA hat signed by Donald Trump, came straight up to me to show it to me. And I'll never forget the day that he had gone and met with the president at the White House. Of course, I was not invited. Only all the Republicans that hated the president before. Let me tell you, Tucker, it all changed. When Trump went in the White House, literally in a matter of months, those of us that...
The irony is devastating. Anti-Trump Republicans like Lawler got White House access while genuine Trump supporters like Green were excluded. This shows how the establishment captured Trump through these pre-selected politicians who could flip on command.
That I didn't really realize at that time was that the president not only was Mike Lawler fully bought and paid for by this, and Don Bacon and all these other guys, fully bought and paid for by the political industrial complex that maintains the power structure in Washington that is completely America last. But the fact that they were the ones now first on the list to go to the White House and the ones being courted all the time, that meant that that's when the president also became bought and paid for by the exact same group of people, powerful donor class, and the powerful industries.
Green's analysis about Trump being captured explains everything we've seen since. The Iran war escalation, oil prices spiking, America fighting Israel's enemies. This validates recent criticism of Trump being controlled by Netanyahu rather than serving American interests.
Tucker, when I introduced an amendment to defund Israel just last year, it hasn't even been a year yet. Only 5 other members of Congress, 5 out of 435, only 5 voted with me to defund American taxpayer dollars going to Israel.
Only 5 out of 435 Congress members voted to defund Israel. That's 1.1%. This shocking statistic proves bipartisan foreign control of Congress. With Iran war escalating and gas prices rising, Americans are paying the price for this Israeli occupation of our government.
If you want to know how many members of Congress on both sides of the aisle are completely beholden to funding Israel, no matter what they do, no matter how much genocide they commit, no matter how many Lebanon Christian villages they destroy, no matter which country they decide to bomb out of their madness and desire for destruction, it was only 5.
Her mentions of genocide and destroying Lebanese Christian villages directly connect to the current Iran conflict. This explains why America automatically supports Israeli aggression regardless of American interests. Our Congress is bought and paid for by foreign lobbies.
And Tucker, I don't care what anybody thinks about me, but I believe that Trump had to make a deal like this in order to become president. And that's why people see the drastic change in him.
Green's insider analysis validates external criticism of Trump's foreign policy. She confirms Trump had to make deals with these same foreign interests to become president. This explains his complete reversal on ending wars and putting America first.
However, this term, we've watched him drastically change literally from the first quarter of his presidency to being completely, basically held captive in servitude to whatever Bibi Netanyahu demands of him.
This directly explains the Iran war escalation and oil price spikes Americans face today. Trump went from ending wars to being Netanyahu's puppet, exactly as Green predicted from her insider knowledge of how the system works.
I was told, reliably told by one of the most well-known pollsters in Washington, D.C., that Republicans are expecting to lose anywhere between 20 and 40 seats in the House.
Republicans facing 20 to 40 seat losses connects directly to their betrayal of campaign promises. Voters elected them to end foreign wars, but they immediately started new ones. Green thinks they deserve to lose for this betrayal.
The mandate was no more foreign wars and put Americans first. And the Republican Party did nothing. What they did is they came in and they used the same system that swings like a pendulum back and forth between whoever's in charge. And they brought that big, powerful lobby and their donors and their industries, and they basically swallowed Donald Trump whole and made sure that he was completely owned and controlled by the government of Israel and whatever war they want to fight.
The 2024 mandate was crystal clear. No more foreign wars, America first. Instead, Republicans delivered the exact opposite, escalating toward war with Iran while Americans pay record gas prices. This betrayal explains why they're facing massive electoral losses.
I resigned from Congress because I refused to be a part of and I refused to support a party that lied to the American people and is completely selling them out.
Green's resignation shows real integrity, refusing to be complicit in betraying American voters. She chose principles over power, unlike colleagues who sold out to foreign interests. This sets a powerful example for other principled politicians.
Candidates that absolutely refuse to take any money from APAC, from the military-industrial complex, big pharma, the big industries and the big donors, the big nasty donors, and the big nasty political consultants that continue the America Last policies that we all are living in and we hate. The American people can elect people that will represent them when those representatives are only funded by the people that vote for them.
The solution is clear. Only support candidates who refuse APAC money, defense contractor donations, and establishment funding. Small dollar campaigns create actual representation because politicians serve their voters, not foreign lobbies. This is how we take back our government.